But in any case, if you see a religious person supporting Zionism, if you see a religious person killing, or if you see a religious person stealing, doesn't make theft and killing religious in any way. Unfortunately, it's embarrassing that that religious person is committing a crime. And we always say that a religious person committing a crime is worse than a non-religious person, because if you're religious, then you're desecrating the religion when you're committing crimes. It's way more serious. But in no way can this represent the Jewish people. And what I will say is that some people blame Neturei Karta of being traitors of the Jewish people. And I say that those people supporting Zionism are the greatest traitors for the Jewish people for two reasons: because they are violating and turning their back to God and his religion and endangering the Jewish people, while Neturei Karta does exactly the opposite, sanctifying God's name and reducing unnecessary hate and manufactured hate that was wrongfully created just because of what is being done in our name. We are here for humanity and for the Jewish people.
There's a book that I was given in Jerusalem by Rabbi Hirsch, actually, about it's the teachings of Reb Amram.
Yes.
Who was a very famous Neturei Karta leader and activist, and he drove the Zionists crazy. I even remember his name growing up, and he was like this, a threat and somebody that people talked about. And in this book, which is in Hebrew, he's interviewed by one of his students, by a young Jewish student. And at one point, he asks the Reb Amram, "What would you do if you were in charge today?" And the first thing he said was, "The first thing I will do is I will ask the Arabs to come back." And the student says, "What are you talking about? They're terrorists. They want to kill us. They'll throw us into the ocean." And Reb Amram's response is, "Who told you this nonsense? We lived in Hebron in peace. We lived in Jerusalem in peace. We lived in Palestine and other countries. We lived well together. We babysat each other's children. We took care of each other. We share so much. We have so much in common. It's only when the Zionists came that the violence and the problems began." And, I think it's an important message for people to hear, because the Zionists are pushing forward a completely different narrative, and so I think it's really refreshing to hear. I want to say
let me ask you something. You mentioned about that when you were young, you knew about Rabbi Amram and that he was a threat to the Zionist movement. And there's a great question to ask. Why would people feel that he was a threat? He was the most kind and peaceful and loving person. Yes, he was very vocal against Zionism, with no gun, with nothing. Now, why would they feel threatened? And let me continue with the next question. Why are they threatened by today's religious people opposing Zionism? The answer is because there is something that they don't want to listen to. There's something they would like to hide, and they would like to silence. And people should not be aware of what true Judaism is all about.